So let's backtrack on a couple of years. 6 years ago, November 2017, I came to this town of Aktau, flying in from Tbilisi, Georgia. I only had a couple of hours layover to get to my flight to Almaty. I went into Almaty and then just found my hostel and went to bed. I was just so damn tired. Next day, I got up early, took a Mashuka across to the border into Kyrgyzstan. I was in Kyrgyzstan for a couple of days. Then on Monday, I came back to Almaty. I had 24 hours in the city center before I flew back to Aktau and then to Tbilisi. Fast forward 6 years later, I basically traveled from Bishkek all the way to Aktau via Uzbekistan. And this is something I would not have done many years ago because of visa regulations of Uzbekistan. Like, when you look back at what happened 10 years ago, I would have needed a visa for like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kazakhstan, and even Kyrgyzstan. But then things have changed in like over time. Before the pandemic, it used to be visa free for British people, but then that stopped because of the pandemic. But then it luckily restarted. Yeah. So, literally, if you want to come to Central Asia, depending on your passport, you'll have visa-free access to Uzbekistan and Tajikistan and Kazakhstan if you have a French passport in Kyrgyzstan. I don't think Turkmenistan would ever really open up to, unrestricted tourism. Maybe it could happen, maybe not, but we'll see how it goes. But I guess if you pay the 500 quid for a tour, then it just makes it worthwhile because things get taken care of. Right now, if I was in the UK, the sun would be up, despite the fact that it is September. It's just that our sun goes up at 5 o'clock from end of March till end of October. It just all depends on the season. But it's still dark here in Aktau and Kazakhstan. It's 5 a.m. in the morning, and I'm nowhere near finding a bloody ATM. I could get back into the train station and use theirs, but the security checks and a lot of BS. So I'm like, why don't you try to venture into the city and see if you can find an ATM, and then get your way to Aktau. It's something I really should have planned. But it's always hard to get foreign currency, especially when you live in the Western world. I mean, tenge, som, you won't find any of that at the London high streets. Hell, I still got my Kyrgyz som, and I don't think I'll be able to exchange it. I have to save that for another trip to Kyrgyzstan, or trying to find a happy soul who's going to Kyrgyzstan in the UK. This is why it is very vital to download maps offline, so you can use it when you're in a foreign country and you can't be bothered with a SIM card. I just paid 3,000 tenge just to get myself to downtown Aktau. Couldn't care where I got dropped off as long as the city center, because I don't know this place. So literally, it just drops you off there, and I'm trying to figure out what it really wants. Do I have to tell them an address I'm going to, or do I have to tell them where I want to go? I'm like, okay, this is the address in Cyrillic. This is where I want to stay. I put it from English to Russian Cyrillic. Put it in. Can't even put it in his phone. So I tell him another hostel. Basically, I got no address because that's what you do if you just don't download the right maps. And then so literally I thought, you know what? Forget it. I'm literally only 7 miles away from my accommodation. Well, not really 7 miles, but 0.7 miles. So I thought,
screw it, doesn't matter, I'll find a Wi-Fi spot somewhere, and then I can download maps and I'll be on my way. The important thing is I can see the sun coming up, so that's a start. Another good thing is there's shops nearby, even though they're not open yet, so that's also a good sign, despite the fact there's no Wi-Fi around here. All I need is to find a place that says hotel and I'm saved. Get myself in for the night. Well, not only the night, but I mean the day. Yes. I already pre-booked accommodation, this hostel in Aktau, which I know it's kind of good, but it's only about like 13 euros for this next few days. So, it could be crap. You never know. Anyway, I'm just glad that I reached the end of the line of this leg of the trip. Right, guys. Even in Kazakhstan, you can't escape the wrath of Avon. I sold Avon when I was like 23 years old, and I got scammed. So, fuck you, Avon. Fuck you, motherfucker. So here's another story time in Kazakhstan. I just came back from Bishkek, and I was dropped off in a random place in Almaty. Just got picked up via Mashuka, out of nowhere, dropped off in Almaty. I already pinpointed my hostel in Almaty, but it wasn't showing up on Google Maps. It's just a grey screen. So what I did was I walked 18 kilometers in a whole day just to find my hostel. Now, back in Australia, I would walk 15 kilometers a week from Chatswood all the way to the city centre and sometimes to Balmain. But this is what I'm used to, so I can put my skills to good use. Today in Aktau, I don't know anything about buses or transport. I mean, look, I just saw a van that says Astana. I guess it's going to the airport. All I know is that this is a port town. I know there's a monument with a Soviet fighter plane somewhere in the city centre. And that's pretty much all I know about Aktau. You can also get a boat across from Aktau to Baku, but right now you can't sail into Azerbaijan, you have to fly in. That's basically been the rule since COVID days, I guess. So it's quite unfortunate if you're in Georgia right now and you want to head to Azerbaijan, you have to basically fly in, or just go through Armenia and Iran, which is visa problematic depending on your nationality for Iran. Tip number 552. Most Wi-Fi networks that are free, they do require a local number. So you can't expect your number from the United Kingdom to be used to access free Wi-Fi. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It worked for me in Uzbekistan last week in Tashkent, but found a free Wi-Fi network. It was asking me for a Kazakh number. Get real. Still searching for the free Wi-Fi. 7 o'clock. Bus ticket in. We're in Aktau. Hopefully the self's looking much better. A couple minutes time. Okay, I don't know where I am. I don't know if I'm in Aktau or not. My Google Maps don't seem to work, but I am safe today because while on the bus I saw a sign that said hostel and I thought, I'm saved. I can go there, I can use the Wi-Fi, I can stay there for a night, whatever. As long as I get to my accommodation tomorrow and I stay there for the next few nights until my flight, then I'll be all set. But it's been really dreadful this morning trying to find where the hell I am without maps. It's horrendous. And I'm quite glad I didn't stop off in Aktau a couple of years ago, because I would have been in the same situation. If I had just came here just to mark Kazakhstan off and I didn't go to Bishkek, I would have thought, man, what a horrible 7 days. Yeah. Jeez. I feel like I'm the only tourist in town. Well, did say hostel, but I don't think it's open. I think it's all border shut. Man, the pandemic has screwed things up all over the world. It's 9 o'clock. And literally, it's still morning. I don't know where I am, but my map tells me that I'm 3.5 miles from where I'm supposed to be staying for the next few days. So, that's a sign that, like, you're still out of town a bit. Now, all the parts of town are in, like, different districts. And worst of all, there's no maps. There's no public maps at all to guide tourists. Matter of fact, if you ask me, I can't even think about any tourist attraction in the whole of Aktau. I mean, it's just a port city for bringing in stuff from what? Russia, Azerbaijan, Iran, Turkmenistan, etc. Over the Caspian Sea. That's just about it. I didn't have any plans of seeing Astana because, I mean, that's like way up north. That's like in the center of the country. And although my friend Johnny Blair has been to Shymkent, which is next to Tashkent, but I knew I wasn't gonna enter Kazakhstan through Kyrgyzstan like I did last time. So, still trying to find a place to stay tonight. Still trying to find Wi-Fi. The place looks a bit like a city to me, so gonna keep my hopes up. I found a mosque right here, so this means it has to be a touristy area. And then I've also seen mountains, or maybe they're clouds on the horizon. That Pepsi truck says Aktau, so this means I'm in the right city, I'm not anywhere else. But still haven't found my Wi-Fi yet. Just glad I'm on medication right now, otherwise I'd be feeling dreadful and mousy. Well, thank you very much, Burger King. I was able to find the Burger King up there, and I was able to log into the Wi-Fi even if they asked me for a Kazakh number. Simply made it up with a bunch of random numbers, and bam, Bob's your uncle. So anything was, the hostel I want to stay isn't really far from here, but then there's another hostel I want to stay tonight, just to give it a review. See how good it is. So, I'm gonna go put up my feet up now. Give me a bloody bed. Martin the Metalhead, over and out.